So what role does business play in all of this? Corporations from around the world, in partnership with other stakeholders, are working to reduce their emissions, invest in natural infrastructure, increase resource efficiency, and adopt new clean technologies. So what exactly are companies doing? One topic that all world leaders at the climate change summits agree on is the need to tackle our unquestionable reliance on non-renewable energy sources. And since the first summit in 1995, there have been visible changes worldwide. Natural energy sources of wind and water are no longer simply on the fringes of alternative energy generation. Today they account for 22% of global energy production, with this figure increasing year on year. With close to 500,000 employees, Siemens is one of the world's largest electronics and engineering companies. Over the past decade, Siemens has been focusing an increasing amount of resources on developing clean, renewable energy. One such groundbreaking renewable project is the Hywind scheme in Norway. Here, Siemens has teamed up with Statoil Hydro, a major offshore oil and gas company, and they have spent a number of years developing, testing and implementing a range of new technologies to combat greenhouse gas emissions. After examining the results of 6 years of testing, Statoil Hydro settled on developing a groundbreaking wind power technology as one of its main sources of energy within the renewable sector, and asked Siemens to be the main supplier of the turbine technology. The Hywind project is the world's first floating wind turbine, aimed at making offshore wind more versatile and productive than current technology allows. An offshore wind farm with up to 200 turbines like these will be capable of supplying almost 1 million households with electricity.
Statoil Hydro and many other suppliers are moving into the offshore environment, both with bottom fixed and with Hywind, the first time the floating environment. And here there are new challenges, but also new benefits which relate to the opportunity to build very large scale and avoid some of the conflicts known from onshore, neighbor reactions, environmental impact on birds, just lack of space in many places.
Standard offshore turbines are driven up to 30 metres beneath the seabed. The new floating turbines can be located on seabeds at depths of up to 700 metres, making them perfect for regions that have few energy resources and little available free land, but have good wind conditions out at sea.
One of the main reasons for moving the turbines offshore is that you will get access to better wind and more stable wind. You will also by far get access to a larger area. That means that you can build larger commercial parks, industrial way as we call it, and you get a much larger flexibility to reduce some of the conflicts that you possibly will get into in the ocean too.
The prototype floating wind turbine is now in place and ready to go live, but there are still a number of technical obstacles that need to be overcome before it is ready for commercial use.
This floating turbine is constructed for North Sea harsh environment. Actually, it's constructed for survive 100 years wave. That means a large wave that happens once every 100 years. So I am not concerned about the construction itself. I'm more concerned about how we can operate it reliable and constantly in these harsh environments. That's why we are looking so much forward to this 2-year or test period here in Norway.
If tests are successful, the Hywind project can be implemented to extend this new wind farm technology around the globe.
Offshore floating wind turbines is a new and immature technology, and in order to commercialize it we have to work both from the cost side and from the market side. So at this stage it's still an R&D project, so through 2 years we will work to prove that we actually have optimal energy production, and we will work with the supply chain in order to hopefully bring out larger, lighter turbines and find cooperation with suppliers that enables mass production, which reduces the costs. And secondly, we have to work with the most attractive markets, which are those with deep waters and a big need for new energy.
Bustling China is a world away from the gusting winds of the North Sea. Here too, Siemens has been working with local partners to provide solutions to a different kind of energy problem. Here in Yunnan, western China, there is an abundance of rivers with the power necessary to create vast volumes of electricity. These seemingly inexhaustible resources are able to supply clean power to the rapidly growing industrial region of the Pearl River Delta and the province of Guangdong, as well as the megacities of Guangzhou and Shenzhen, an industrial heartland that is home to over 93 million people. One of the major problems facing the region, though, is the fact that the electricity has to be transferred from Yunnan to Guangdong over a distance of 1,400 kilometres. Traditionally, transmitting electricity over such long distances has meant high rates of wastage. Siemens holds the answer to this problem. Together with Chinese partners, Siemens designed the complex Yunnan-Guangdong HVDC system, one of the longest and most advanced high-voltage DC or HVDC transmission systems in the world. This scheme improves the reliability and flexibility of the power transmission.
In this project we have the world's first 800 kilovolts converter transformers. Furthermore, we have the world's first 800 kilovolts wall fault, which converts the AC power into DC power.
Hydroelectric power generation is economical and does not emit any CO2. The HVDC system will reduce CO2 emissions by more than 30 million tons per year.
工程本身也将成为世界电力工业发展史上的一个重要里程碑。就拿云广直流工程来说，和采用500千伏的电压等级相比较，云广工程采用了800千伏的电压等级，可以节约线路走廊大约8600公顷，大大提高了土地资源的利用效率，而且送电的损耗更小，更为经济合理。
With projects like these capitalising on renewable energy, COP15's targets to reduce our dependence on conventional power plants and thus cut the amount of CO2 we release into the atmosphere are becoming increasingly realistic. But there's still a long way to go. In next week's edition of Seal the Deal, we will travel the globe, from Korea to the US, from the Netherlands to Spain, and here in the UK, looking at how companies are rising to the challenge of climate change and discovering how saving the planet can go hand in hand with generating good business.